There it is.
Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Siren, and today we have a very special guest. Hello, ma'am.
Hi. hmm
Okay, so in today's video, we're basically going to be talking about the concept of femininity, what it means to be a woman, misconceptions around femininity and being a woman, and also just Renee's personal experience around being a woman, specifically in Jamaica, and just how the environments and things that we go through may differ based off on area, and we're also going to go through general issues as well. So a quick promo. I did do an interview on her channel, and now she's gonna be on my channel. So everything will be linked in the description. Her YouTube channel, I can put the video link and everything. But yeah, I'm excited. So let's get into it. So Renese, please introduce yourself to my viewers.
Once again.
Yes, because we had a issue recording before, but we're back.
Right. All right. Hey, everyone. I am Renese Francis. That is Renese. I am just a vibrant individual. I'm someone who also loves listening to others and their story, their perspective on life. I find humans fascinating, so I'm always getting into the nitty-gritty and having deep conversations with my friends or whoever I meet. Listen to me. I will have deep conversations with my coworkers randomly just to get to know them, just to see how they think, how they process life. Um, yeah, I'm just vibesy. I'm here, I'm there, and I'm everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, period. That's her. So, Renice, what do you like to do in your free time?
In my free time, well, let me see. I love to meditate. I love to connect with God, the divine.
Mhm.
I love having one-on-one with me. Sometimes I'll just put down my phone and just have that deep session where I can connect with myself and see what I need to reflect on and all of that. Um, I also like to sew sometimes, like sew clothes. Um, yeah.
Okay, guys. So now we know things about the person being interviewed. So mind you, because we're going to be going into a deep topic and we're going to be exploring different constructs and stating different opinions. Remember to be open minded. She introduced herself, and we can see that she is a very creative person and she probably holds like a different perspective on things. So just remember to be respectful and to be open minded. Okay, so Renice, to you, what does it mean to be a woman? What would you describe as like being a woman or embodying your femininity?
I would say being a woman is the best thing you can experience within this life. Being a woman holds so much power. The woman has power, has strength, has even leadership qualities within her own way, right? That doesn't mean, oh, taking on this masculine trait and pushing through and being, hyper masculine. The woman is about nurturing, about listening, about creating change with her own energy, right? Femininity to me is different on so many spectrum. You have
Yes,
soft
many different
femininity,
things.
you have a more hardcore femininity. It's expressed in different ways. Just taking care of yourself as well. Again, nurturing. Um, just embodying you, being you, and being authentically you, and not what society has told you to be, right? Mm-hmm.
So fluidity. Okay,
Yes.
so we're getting into the concepts when we're explaining. Obviously, we're getting into the concepts of like masculinity and femininity. And as you said, it can be different for people on many spectrums. So
Mm-hmm.
since we're getting into like the concept of like gender constructs, how do you feel like society has influenced gender constructs or the way that we behave? And how do you think that has impacted you on a personal level or your mindset and what you view? how you view yourself?
All right, I believe gender construct within society is mainly ego-based. It is not from the divine, it is not from the heart, from the soul. It's mainly to control and to manipulate others. Whether
Mhm.
it's women manipulating men or men manipulating women, it goes both ways.
Yes.
Um, I believe gender roles, we should look past it
Yeah,
and mainly look at ourselves,
I
look
agree.
at the impact we can create for ourselves and for others by simply being you, right? Reprogramming your mind as well, because many of us grow up hearing that, oh, you need to please a man, or men need to be more masculine and dominant and not,
Yeah,
be puny and all of that. And whenever they cry, Jamaicans would say, why, yeah, girl, top ball, where you ball for? Stuff like that. I believe we need to look past all these gender norms that we have and just simply exist as we are, which is um close to the divine, reconnecting with our roots, with our spirit. And I
yeah,
believe at that point, we'll be able to bypass so many issues we have in society. Because
yes,
when we look at the gender construct we have now, it shapes how politicians treat women or men treat women. Look at domestic violence within our society. Now we have high rates of men abusing women because they never knew how to express their emotions, so that hyper masculine, that wounded masculine energy. Women who have to take on masculine roles and try to have that masculine trait because being soft and being a woman has always failed them, quote unquote failed them, right? Because they were manipulated or abused from an early stage. So things like these, I believe we just need to reprogram what society has projected onto us and simply just exist as us authentically.
yeah. So, and there is a lot of constructs surrounding what it means to be a person. I mean, gender is just one thing on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Especially looking at things from a spiritual perspective, it's like there's many things you can utilize both masculine and feminine energy to do, but
Mm-hmm.
we do see how society represents a warped version of what masculinity and femininity is, and within society, because it's so rigid, it's more of forcing onto a person a role that they should take on or a way that they should behave instead of allowing that person to be fluid and express themselves authentically. Because even when you were speaking and you said even surrounding the representation of feminine energy and what it
Mm-hmm.
means to be feminine, or just the connotation surrounding being a woman and the characteristics of a woman in general, we see how it's viewed in a very negative and weak way. Even when you said even men growing up, when they do express their feminine energy, they get called a sissy, they get called they need to toughen up. People ask them if they're a girl. So it's like we see where it's like people view the softness of femininity as something that's
Weak.
weak or
Mm-hmm.
as something that should not be expressed. Whereas even something as natural as somebody who's seen that's supposed to be a more dominant figure, if they do express any emotion or any ounce of creativity and their feminine energy, they get looked down on. And
Right.
it's a direct reflection of how feminine energy and just being a woman in general is looked down on in society. It carries a
Mm-hmm.
negative connotation. So, since you're speaking about like your perspective, how would you say these gender constructs affected you growing up and, society forcing people to be in a box? How has that personally affected you growing up? What are your experiences where you first-handly, went through these things to be able to build your perspective today?
Right. So growing up, I experienced it firsthand. I grew up in a family where you have to take care of the man, you have to take care of the home, you have to appear more weak. And I experienced a lot of trauma in regards to that, being exploited, being abused, and it made me feel as if I was never safe to truly exist as I am, because it's like I'm always exploited, right, by others around me, people who are close to me as well. Um, as I've said, my mother's coworker was teaching me how to fold clothes because I need to be able to fold clothes for my future husband. I need to be able to take care of the home. So this is something that is
Mhm.
always being reinstated over and over and over.
So basically, from a young girl, you were
From I
being
was a
taught
child,
to, yeah,
exactly.
you were being like nurtured to cater your identity around men and being a
Yes.
male-centered woman and doing things to please
Right.
men. Okay.
Right. Many women feel different in regards to, all right, my brain is jumping forward right now, so let me come back. But all right, for me personally, I don't mind taking care of the home, right? But other
Mhm.
women, it's different. But I don't want to do it for the validation of a man. This is me doing it because it makes me happy. It is something that provides comfort for me. And if I love someone, then I will also extend that to them. I don't owe it to anyone. And I shouldn't do it to seek validation from someone. And many of us growing up, we are taught to seek validation from those outside of us, to always check if we're doing the right, especially women. I realize it's mainly women who have these traits. It's like, okay, am I pleasing you? Right? And this can lead to a lot of women being exploited, manipulated, and abused within the home and within society, within the work environment as well. You see, I always
Yes.
have this people pleasing energy. So,
Yes, I've seen that as well, and I'm also seeing where it like creates a competition around women because it's stemming from
yes.
insecurity. Because even one time I was on a live and this lady was speaking of how she knew many different languages, and I
Mm-hmm.
guess a person in the comment section got insecure, like they got
Mm-hmm.
triggered, and they were telling her that she should show that she can, and the person said she's not gonna speak them just to prove something to her. And
Mm-hmm.
then they started saying about how, like, basically bashing the woman, saying that she's up here bragging, but she can't keep a man. No man don't want her. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just another example of like women tearing down other women
For the
surrounding the
validation.
basis of, oh, your worth depends on a man. So if you
Yeah.
can't keep a man, that says something about you,
And I believe we
because
need to
they center their worth around, it's like
around
they get validation from, oh, if a man likes me, oh, I'm able to keep a man, that means I'm doing something right, oh, I have a husband, that means
yes.
I'm doing something right.
And this will also lead to a lot of women being in toxic relationships, whether the
Yes.
man is abusing them physically, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, they'll stay because at least them have a man, right? And they can
Yes.
brag about it. Um, so it's really about us reclaiming our worth, reclaiming who we are, and reprogramming what we have always been taught, right? Um, Many times we say, oh, society did this to us. Yes, it did this to us, but we are the ones who shape society. If we create change, the stupidity that is happening out there will also change. So we also have to look within ourselves to create a ripple effect across our nation, and then it would create a ripple effect across other nations. And then you'll see a change within humanity. Right? We're waiting on others to change. Like, you hurt me, so you need to validate that, oh, you hurt me, right? You need to acknowledge it. It's like you're always seeking, seeking, seeking the validation from those who hurt you as well. But girl, it's about you. It's not about them. Yes, they hurt you, but it's time for you to look past them and heal within yourself. Heal your inner child. Heal whichever part of you that was
Yes,
wounded.
it's really about authentic expression, because none of us, our purpose is never to serve others. And when I say to serve others in the way that society portrays it, which means abandoning yourself,
Yourself.
none of us are
Right.
here to abandon ourselves. When you give, you should always give from a place of your cup is full.
Yes. Yeah.
You shouldn't be trying to draw in attention from other people or subdue yourself to get the validation of other people, because that really just screams insecurity. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people attach the concept of like femininity to abandoning yourself. And this is often projected into society, and how people even view motherhood as well. Because there's a lot of times when I've seen like mothers, and for instance, it's like people on social media, if they do not see the mother by her child 24/7, it's like they start to bash her. So it is
Yeah.
your responsibility as a mother to take care and nurture your child, but as a mother, you're also not supposed to abandon yourself. You're still allowed to live your life even though you have a child. Yes,
Yes.
your child should become your top priority, but that does not mean you have to abandon yourself. Because I've seen cases where it's like women postpartum, they have their baby and they decide to go out and have fun and they post it. And then people on social media bash them saying, why are you not with your child? Why are you not doing with this and that? Why is your child with this person? You're supposed to be taking care
Mm-hmm.
of your child. And I feel like it all stems from like the idea that it's like femininity, anything associated with it, it's like you have to give up your all, you have to
You
abandon
have to
yourself.
give up your identity.
Yeah, because a
Um,
lot of mothers struggle with they say that it's like they don't really have a life when they have a
right,
kid because they don't do anything outside of having their kid. And that
right,
can stem from multiple different reasonings, because some mothers, they don't have a support system, so there's nobody else to do it but them. But then there's other mothers, it's like there's a lot of fear surrounding that, like being looked at a certain way if they're not always catering their every move into pouring into this other human being, you know?
right. It's very important for us to remember that even though we've made the choice to become a mother, we don't lose our identity to it. It no longer it we don't use it as our identity. Oh, who are you? I'm a mother. Yes, you're a mother, but what else? You know, I am Renese. I am jovial. I love my children, but I also love myself and I love what I can contribute to myself and society or in whatever it is. But that's just me because I love contributing towards society. But a lot of, as you said before, a lot of women they grow bitter towards motherhood because it's like, oh, society is always projecting to them to be a mother, be a mother, be a mother. And when they finally want to do something for themselves, it's like, no, but I have to be a mother. So it
Yeah.
literally creates bitterness around it. It's like,
And
oh,
yes, and
I can't
guilt.
live my life.
Yeah, if I'm not doing anything surrounding catering to this person, then it's like they have a sense of guilt. Like, am I doing something
Right.
right?
I see this a lot in women in my family, my mother, my sister. It's like they always tell me how they kind of regret being a mother sometimes because they didn't get to live their life. But it's important for us to remember that being a mother doesn't mean you lose yourself or you lose your identity. It is just an additional role, right?
And
It's an
being
additional
a woman in
responsibility in
general,
your
yes,
life.
your responsibility is not to cater to other people. You don't always have to abandon yourself or make yourself small,
Exactly.
or embody certain traits that are not true to who you are as a person, because you're trying to fit into a box of what society tells you to be because your
Right.
physical form is this.
And I also believe the father plays a huge role in this as well because if tasks are divided evenly or some of the burden is taken away from the mother and the father manages the home or manages the child, then the mother wouldn't feel obligated to always be around the child or always taking care of the child. When the father takes the child, she'll know have time for herself, right? She'll now get to relax, do whatever she wants to do to express her authenticity. And this is why the family unit is very important. But many women marry men, but they're still single mothers. Look at that. Imagine marrying someone, but you're still a single mother, right? So that also plays a huge role with women losing themselves and losing their identity because they don't have the system of support that they need in order to decompress. Look at us, for example. I'm not a mother, so I'm going to speak based on something that we can all relate to. Look at us.
Her.
We have school, we have work, we have friends, right? Sometimes our friends can become demanding. Sometimes schoolwork or work in general can become demanding. And you just need you need some time to take a step back, right? Because if you're always putting your energy in this thing, you're just going to lose your mind and you're going to lose yourself. You're going to become overworked. And it's like all these demands on you, right? So you have to take a step back and just say, all right, it's time for me. It's time for me to decompress and just focus on me. Put on the phone, right? Put down the schoolwork. And that's something I had to do a lot this year. And that creates a lot of tension in regards to some of my schoolwork and some of my teachers because they're like, yo, the deadline is coming up or whatever. But I was great. I was blessed enough to be able to talk to my teachers and be like, all right, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to upload this assignments. Can I do it now? Can I do it tomorrow? Etc. etc. I just have a lot going on. And they were understanding with that. So I can also do things within my own time, but also managing the task and responsibility I have, right? So yeah, it's really about prioritizing yourself regardless of whatever responsibilities you have.
And this is just a personal thing in general as well.
Right. Right.
So I do want to get into like the topics of like dating, and I do want to just go
Let's get into dating.
more
Let's start that.
into get into like
Let's start
characteristics. But
that.
the meeting is going down in terms of timing, so I think I'm going to split this interview into two parts.
Sure,
So
sure.
this
That would be
will
good.
be part one. So
Mm-hmm.
guys, stay tuned for part two, which will be uploaded very soon. So this is part one. Don't
Bye.
forget to leave your thoughts and your comments
Like and
down below.
subscribe.
Like and
Make sure you
subscribe.
guys leave a comment. I love when we're engaging and I can respond and Siren can like, oh, I love that.
Yes. So
Yes.
don't forget to leave your comments down below, like and subscribe, and stay tuned for part two if you're interested in this video. If you want to interject, if you have any different opinions, it's welcome, but don't be disrespectful because everybody can be disrespectful if you're disrespectful. So just keep the space clean, good energy, and just learn to express your opinion or different opinions without throwing a temper tantrum like you're a toddler. Okay, so yeah, okay, stay tuned for part two. Bye bye.